America's weather watchers under siege, a perfect storm of staff cuts and severe weather. The United States recently endured a brutal onslaught of severe weather. A multi-day tornado outbreak tearing through the South, high winds wreaking havoc in Mississippi, a major blizzard blanketing the Central Plains, wildfires raging across the West, and the ominous threat of coastal storms looming over the Pacific coast. This relentless barrage of meteorological mayhem exposed a critical vulnerability within America's disaster preparedness infrastructure. A severely depleted National Weather Service, NWS. The timing couldn't have been more devastating. As deadly tornadoes ripped through Oklahoma, leaving a trail of destruction in their wake, including damage to an elementary school, the NWS found itself grappling not only with the immediate crisis, but also with the lingering consequences of significant staffing cuts implemented by the previous administration. These cuts, which represent approximately 10% of the agency's workforce, have left key weather monitoring and disaster preparedness systems dangerously understaffed, creating a perfect storm of inefficiency and potential catastrophe. The recent wave of personnel reductions was a double whammy. First came the Trump administration's directive to the NWS's parent organization, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, to terminate roughly 800 probationary employees. This was followed by over 100 deferred resignations and early retirements, primarily impacting senior-level positions, a devastating blow to institutional knowledge and experience. The timing of these cuts, coinciding with a period of historically volatile weather patterns, has sparked serious internal concerns about the NWS's capacity to effectively monitor and respond to future emergencies. The impact of these staff reductions has been swift and far-reaching. Essential services, such as crucial storm spotter training programs and educational outreach initiatives like school field trips, have been abruptly canceled. The consequences are not merely inconvenient. They represent a critical breakdown in early warning systems and community preparedness efforts. The consequences extend beyond canceled programs. Critical infrastructure has also been affected. The failure of weather radar systems in San Francisco and San Diego shortly after the staff cuts were announced highlights the immediate, tangible consequences of diminished staffing levels. These outages, requiring days to repair, underscore the tenuous state of America's weather monitoring network. At the peak of this week's severe weather, a staggering 11 weather radars, nearly 10% of the nation's fleet, were offline, jeopardizing accurate forecasting and timely warnings. This cascading effect extends beyond the NWS. Other vital components of the nation's disaster management system, such as the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, and agencies responsible for managing public lands, have also been crippled by budget constraints and staff cuts, creating a domino effect of vulnerability across the entire emergency response infrastructure. The synergistic effect of these cuts multiplies the risk, creating a system far less resilient than it needs to be. The recent severe weather events weren't just a random confluence of unfortunate events, they were amplified by environmental factors. Unusually warm Gulf of Mexico water temperatures throughout February provided exceptional moisture, fueling the intensity of the recent tornado outbreak. The unusually warm temperatures in the southern states, more typical of late April, the peak of the tornado season, further exacerbated the situation. The timing and intensity of this event served as a chilling reminder of the synergistic effect of climate change and under-resourced disaster preparedness systems. The unprecedented confluence of severe weather and understaffing at the NWS has raised serious questions about America's preparedness for future extreme weather events. The consequences of these staffing cuts extend far beyond inconvenience. They pose a direct threat to public safety and the nation's ability to effectively respond to natural disasters. The current situation demands immediate action to rebuild and reinforce the nation's weather monitoring and disaster preparedness capabilities. The nation's safety hangs in the balance. Failing to address this issue now is a gamble with potentially catastrophic consequences. The current state of affairs is not just a matter of concern, It's a clarion call for urgent action. The storm clouds gathering on the horizon demand more than just meteorological forecasts. They demand a comprehensive overhaul of America's disaster preparedness strategy.